Hi friends, it's Penel here. Today I thought I would dismantle this old book, which I made many years ago when I was first learning bookbinding, back in the days when we used to use books for instruction because YouTube, I don't even know if I had a computer actually, let alone YouTube. Anyway, I made this one using this rather beautiful decollage. I had a pad of it, and it's lovely paper. And apparently, on each signature, I put a rather violently pink piece of watercolor paper. So that is wrapped around each signature. And I can't remember if it was purely structural or if I'd done it planning to actually, attach things onto it. Anyway, I don't know if it's that's made the book very stiff and awkward to open. When I'm working in a book, I hate that. I really like them to behave themselves and lie flat. That just bugs me. So I'm afraid, it's been on a bookshelf. You can see the spine and the top must have been upside down. This is a beautiful leather, but very soft, way too soft for covering. It has glue marks here, and it must have been dyed with a fugitive dye because it has faded terribly. It's possible, actually, I used the end paper of each signature to glue onto here. That might be a reason it's so tight. Also, I didn't crease in here. I didn't know, probably, to crease in here and let that, give me more fabric, or leather in this case, in these folded bits. Anyway, don't like working in it. As we can see, 2009 this was, so it's a while ago. I did this much, and I want to keep it. It's a little memory of things at that time, and fortunately for me, all of the written bit is in the first signature. So I should be able to just pull that out and keep those pages with something else. But, there's fabric tape here. Isn't it wonderful when you can't remember what you did, even though you did it? Ooh. Okay. All right. I find the easiest way for my tired old hands is to use a quick unpick to pull out stitching. There we go. Look, pre-made signatures. Although, of course, these days I will probably take these apart and use them not all together in a signature. Ooh, that's very sturdy, very ugly. Funny, isn't it? We hang on to things, or I hang on to things, because I made them, even when I don't like using them. Come on, what's going on? Ooh. These are really, those watercolour pieces are well and truly stuck. So yes, 2009, what does that mean? So it's at least 15 years since I wrote in this, and I suspect it's more like 25 years since I made it. It's been sitting on the shelf, unloved, because every time I pick it up and work in it, it annoys me. So I put it back and leave it, and it just sits there reminding me of oops, of a failed project. Why? I mean, I suppose it's good to keep your failures sometimes as a cautionary tale, a reminder of what not to do, but it's taking up real estate on my shelf. Oh, that was bleeding. Okay, so I can keep this little... This is when I had work at Craft New South Wales Gallery. Sold the blue spiral necklace, $600. To Deirdre from Moree. Today was her birthday and this her present to herself. I remember that. That was fun. Okay, so I don't think any of this is worth keeping, including that, even if I cut that. That'd be interesting. What I did. Oh, look, so there's... Let's just dismantle it. So I actually used tape. No wonder it was so tight. This is, I've put stiffened fabric here. I've got ribbon. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So I used a ribbon stiffened with card to make my little headbands, and then stiffened fabric over that, and then this twill tape across that fabric which I stitched into. Ugh. Oh no, I stitched into the tape. Oh, I stitched into the tape. Look at that. And then glued the tape onto the fabric and the fabric onto the book. Wow, I had layers upon layers of tightness. Now, I've gone this far. Look at the original colour. It was beautiful. Okay, waste not, want not. Ooh. This could become a book. I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's already cut to size. All right. That's so nice. I might just keep this little section of leather, which has not yet lost its colour. It could be a trim for something, couldn't it? There we go. So we can salvage that and the papers. Look, all these paste papers I made back in the day. I think this was paste paper here too. Do you remember doing that in kindy? It's really fun and really easy. I might do a video on it next time we make some. Okay, well that was very interesting and instructive, and now that's going in the bin. That's in the recycling. Let's turn this into a book. It's a nice size. And of course, what I know now means I'll do it differently, I hope, and better. It's very stiff. What I might do, I had actually pulled this little book to show and tell. This was an early junk journal I made, and I really liked it. It's got much newer paste paper as the end papers, and this beautiful paper from Nepal as the cover. But look, I did the same thing. This was one of the first junk journals I made, and I love it And I did a good gap between the spines, but I didn't replace the spine of, this is made on an existing book that I gutted for the pictures probably. And the spine's just not wide enough. I should have cut this out and made my own spine to the width that was appropriate for the signatures. But I wasn't aware back then that no matter what size you make your signatures, once you start filling them with stuff, the book's going to get bigger. And I don't mind if they expand and become a gator mouth here, but I don't like it when they do that. I want them to lie flat. This has some really beautiful, it's a gel print, some really beautiful papers in it. I actually made it, let's have a little look. I made this after Dad died. I'd been nursing him for a few years and my life was suddenly very empty and quiet, and I was very sad. Even though he was relieved to go, he was almost 96. I think that's right. Gosh, it's a couple of years ago and I've forgotten already. Anyway, so I used, this is his old graph paper that I dyed and embossed. Played with stamps. More jelly prints. I love this jelly print. Oh, look, I turned that into a pocket. And I used these illustrations. Ooh, can I remember who it was? I just love them. They have a poignancy to them. And to me, this was like, you know, he was leaving, Dad, I mean, not the illustrator. Off on a journey. Reign of grief, and I was left alone. And so each of these apparently centre sections was another page from the book that to me told a little story. Ooh. Here's a cautionary tale. Ugh. This was a tutorial, and I think it was Treasure Books, making like a glassine style paper from napkins and PVA, but in this very humid climate, this just, it gets really sticky. I'm going to leave that out. Very pretty, but yeah. Don't use PVA in a humid climate. Matte medium, the Liquitex stuff, works much better. Doesn't go sticky. I never looked through this book, probably because of all the memories of my grief when I was making it. Obsessed with thoughts of, you know, the fact that we're all going to die and how difficult old age can be. And then in the middle I was like, okay, I've got to find my way out of this grief. So my little creative muse is shining a light, which way to go. Even though my little stories probably only make sense to me, I do like to have them running through every book I make. Be interesting if I'm guessing if people notice them, they would probably read them differently because we're all so different. This just reminded me of Dad at the end, using canes and walkers and feeling very feeble. But this was me, leaving behind all the clouds of despair into the wide open on my bike with my baggage, my groceries actually, that looks like, and then flying. So it's more cheerful than I remember. And it's using lots of his old papers. Little skull and crossbones here. There's a better shot of the paste papers. Beautiful. Right, well, all of that to say, I might try and recreate this style of book. So it has a fabric spine, and I made little, not big enough, little headbands. I think I added this bit of fabric because I cut that paste paper too short and I didn't like having the gap. It's kind of a cute little flap. Managed to cut it okay there. All right, let's see if we can recreate something like this, reusing these old boards. Okay, well, I love the way videos just become their own thing. I start with a plan and I end up, look at this. Okay, what did I do? Here we go. I was looking, went down into the cupboards, the paper pantry we call it, downstairs. Get this out of the way. Looking for a piece of bookboard. I don't throw any of this good solid bookboard out. This has obviously been another dismantled book, because look at that. I'm not going to bother trimming this except for the height. This is now the width of my spine, and I don't have my cutting mat, so I'll reach across here and steal cues. See, I wasn't planning to do anything like this morning. Okay, the height of these, well, that's nice and even, isn't it? Is to there. Now, somewhere. I have a ruler. Now, when you're cutting something as thick as bookboard, it's good to not try and do it all at once, especially if you have old, tired hands like me, but to just keep slicing until you feel it giving, and then before you know it, you're through. Good enough. This bit, sorry for that abrupt ending. I ran out of storage. It's been quite the morning. One video I filmed, I forgot to have sound on. This one, I did something I've never done before, was really excited by it, and now you just have to see the finished result. I had my bookboard and I had these two strips which I decided I wanted to use to create these ridges on the spine. But the spine, it was a bit too straight. I wanted it slightly curved. So you can see here probably I sliced just twice with the Stanley knife, oops, which I haven't closed, and then curved it a little, just a gentle curve. And these I was able to just curve by hand because they're only short. So now I have my covers. Doesn't really matter which way I use these. Oh, except that'll be the outside. So my covers and my spine. And I'll do a hidden spine in this journal, which means the inside will be finished last, but the outside can be done now. I managed to find, look, the same paper. So this can be another go at the journal, which I really loved, but wasn't happy with. Here goes nothing. I want this glued onto all of this. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go actually over these. Never mind, it's all experimental, isn't it? May or may not work. We will see. Phew. I really like using this glue up for everything apart from the smell. It is pongy. Okay. Ready? Set? Go. The other nice thing, of course, about this glue is you've got wriggle time. Does that stay straight? Yes. Okay. This might have worked better with doing this bit last, so I could have actually tried something around there, but let's go ahead and glue these on the sides and then maybe I can. Again. Let's pop something in here. Nope. It needs to be something fatter. What have I got? Here's a box. It's a bit too fat. Maybe not. Oh, this is going to be a very fat book. Yeah, I'm not sure that that was successful. And I'm wondering if I can wrap something around there. All right, this is a very rough and ready sort of a fix from a bag of old shoelaces and stuff. I'm not sure it's going to work, but I've tried to put tight binding here around the book with this poking out so it's not damaging the edges. And I hope. It looks like it's creasing quite a bit, which may or may not be all right. We'll see. So now I'll just leave that in place and see what happens. I probably won't get back to it for a good few days, so there you go. Straighten that up. That might help a bit, might that? Q will come home and go, "What have you been doing?" Stay tuned. We'll see how this works later. Bye for now.